All right, let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks. So far this season, they've been one of the most confusing teams in the entire NBA. For starters, they do one of the things I hate most when it comes down to sports in general, and that's playing down or playing up to your competition. Like, just for example, they've lost to the Rockets this year because they got cocky and, just were showboating too much. Trey and DeJounte combined for like 80 points. And again, they somehow managed to lose a huge lead and lose that game. But then recently, I think like yesterday, the day before yesterday, they beat the second seeded Denver Nuggets. Granted, I don't believe they were fully healthy, but a win is a win regardless against a good team. These type of inconsistencies are like telltale signs, I think, to young teams, like teams who haven't been there yet. Usually teams that have made it deep into the playoffs, maybe even won a championship. Those type of teams don't play down to the competition. The Boston Celtics do not play down to the competition. The Milwaukee Bucks do not play down to the competition. Really good teams don't have those bad habits. So my next issue with this team, which isn't the biggest of issues, but it's worth noting, uh, a lot of their players aren't shooting that well from the field, and these are players that usually shoot well from the field. Trey Young's shooting percentage is down dramatically this season. He's at 41% from the field, 30% from the three. DeJounte shooting it okay at 44%, but I'm pretty sure he would like that higher. John Collins, which I'm really going to touch on, but he's shooting 21% from the three this year when he's a career 36% shooter. This team, their shooting woes are a bit confusing again because these players that they have are generally good shooters. The players they have taking these shots are decent shooters throughout their NBA career. So it's a little confusing. They traded a shooter in Kevin Herter who is shooting the lights out in Sacramento right now. I think he would be helpful to them. Bogdanovich, I don't know where he is. I think he's slowly coming. I think he just played his first game. I didn't get a chance to watch that, but hopefully his shooting can come in and help something because right now their shooting is pretty bad. Now let's get back to John Collins, who I just briefly touched on. Like I said, he's shooting 21% from the three this year, and when he's a career 36% three-point shooter. Now, I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, he is always in trade talks. It doesn't matter what is happening that season. They can be like I think even coming off of that Eastern Conference Finals run, he was in trade talks. Like no matter what he does or how well or bad he plays, he's going to be in trade talks. Now this time, I think it's very warranted because they just can't seem to incorporate him properly in this offense. Anytime you watch one of their games, you can't seem to tell what it is that he's supposed to be doing for this team. Like you don't know what his role is on this team. Is he meant to just be a lob threat? Is he meant to space the floor? Is he meant to be in the dunker spot? Like his role is not defined at all, and I think that's going to be very big for them if they do keep him instead of trading him. But I do see how it can be a little hard for the Atlanta Hawks to fit him into, I guess, a role, especially when his 3-point percentage is down. So he's not much of a floor spacer right now. And Capella and Okongu man the paint whenever they're in the game. So he doesn't really have time to occupy that space. And he doesn't, because of those two bigs being on the roster and needing to get minutes, very, very, very rarely if ever this season, honestly, does he get to go to that small ball five, which he used to be able to do, and that used to open up the offense for him and allow him more shots and more space to do the things that he likes to do. But with all of that being said, it still is kind of difficult to trade him. Honestly, I see the issues with trading him. You're not getting anybody back for him who's going to be better than him or be a better fit for your team. But we'll see what they end up doing with him. I think they need to make a decision and make it soon, like by the trade deadline. Next, I want to go to Capella and Okongu, that rotation. So early on in Okongu's career, I kind of saw it. I was like, all right, they're gonna slowly kind of hand the keys off to him, and I guess they'll ship Capella out, and Okongu will be the starting five. He's a little undersized, but I think the way that the league is going and his ability to defend at a very high level, I think they would have been okay, especially with John Collins next to him in at that forward position. Like I said, it seemed like it was trending that way, and then it seemed like they got cold feet, and now they pulled back a little bit on Okongu's minutes, and they're giving those minutes back to Capella. Capella looks great again, but at the same time, Okongu's rookie extension is coming up very soon, so they're gonna have to make a decision on whether he's their future or not, and it's gonna get a little dicey come contract time. So I'm very curious to see how they handle that situation, or if they trade Capella and then they just go full in on Okongu. But right now, there's no indication leaning either way. All in all, this team, like I said at the beginning, is very, very confusing. With all that being said, they could easily finish this year at the top of the conference. They're not currently, they are a bit far out, but I could see this team making a deep playoff run if they're able to pull it together. And at the same time, I could see them being at the bottom of the conference. They're currently number 4 in the Eastern Conference, but they're 5 games behind first place. And the separation between them and the 8th seed, which is the Raptors currently, is 1 game. So the 4th seed and the 8th seed are separated by 1 game. That's nothing. That's a weekend, a bad weekend, and you can be back in the 8th seed. So yeah, I really don't have a good read on this team. If I had to guess, I would say they'd probably not be in the top 4 when it's all said and done, just because I think they have too many things to kind of work out, and some of these teams are trending upward and they're coming fast. So we'll see, man. We'll keep an eye on this. Probably check back in a couple weeks on this situation. Until next time, I appreciate you guys for watching. Oh, and if you made it this far, you might as well hit the like button or subscribe, whichever one. It helps the channel out a lot. Peace.